First of all, welcome to Saturday Morning Cartoons. Thank you. Now, yesterday was my birthday, my 77th birthday. I made a big thing out of it, usually by saying I'm not going to make a big thing out of anything, but I did. I did, and obviously it really worked because uh, so many of you sent wonderful, wonderful birthday messages. And at first I was trying to keep up. I was trying to keep up with them, and I was answering each one of them as they came in. But I'd have to get up and eat lunch and things like that. And I came back, and there were really so many of them. Okay, and I want to thank each and every one of you, and I wish I could, and maybe I'll go back and peck at private messages for all of you. But once it got over 500, I knew I was going to have to globally thank everyone, and I would like to pay uh, special attention to those of you who so generously uh, observe my birthday by their generous Patreon patronage. I joked and said, I talked about my shirt size and stuff, and I said, but I really appreciate cash. Yeah, and as an old musician and someone who has been perpetually broke since 1948, uh, I was only half joking, but I thank you very much for our new Patreon patrons, and for those of you who sent things through PayPal and things like that. It was thank you very much. Literally, it literally will keep the roof over our heads for another period of time. So thank you very much, and I plan on turning 77 many more times. Anyway, uh, Constance and I were talking this morning after we usually watch on Saturday morning. I get out my little MacBook Air because the television here is just terrible. We do have PBS, and we've got three PBS stations here, but usually the Sunday morning fare is pretty dull. So on Saturdays, we like to look at shows about permaculture and people who are actually doing things, gardening, people that are trying to help the earth and trying to live a sustainable lifestyle and stuff. That's just what we've got in the habit of doing, because Constance, under better circumstances, was and would be again quite a gardener, and so we were watching that, and she's reading a 7th century book, Tibetan Buddhist book, and we were discussing. I don't know what the conversation got onto, but of course the terrible political situation is on many people's minds, including our own, and everybody has very strong feelings and says, "Oh, I hate that guy," or "If that guy would just go away," and he's so mean, he should be punished, and yeah, I feel that way too. Uh, But Constance is always saying, no, no, uh, it's highly unlikely. But the ultimate thing, if we're going to wish for something, wish for the light bulb to go off on the heads of various monsters around the world, uh, so that they see what's have them enlightened if they were enlightened. Okay, redeemed rather than uh, punished. Uh, and we got talking about vices. Now, Constance has a slogan. Now, she made up the slogan. At least if someone else made it up, she was unaware of it because it's such a universal thing. But she has a knee-jerk blessing that she gives to people. People she likes, people she hates. It's the same blessing. And her word, I quoted her so she wouldn't be mad. May your virtues and your vices equally serve your true will. May your virtues and your vices equally serve your great will. That's so cool. I'm sorry, it just is incredibly cool. And it got me thinking about vices and the truth behind that. And in the second chapter of the book of the law, which is Hadith's chapter, chapter 2, verse 52. Now, when I first read this, I misread this. It says, there is a veil. That veil is black. It is the veil of the modest woman. Now, when I first read that, I said, modest woman, that's great. What? Is he going to trash modest women? There is a veil. That veil is black. It is the veil of the modest woman. It is the veil of sorrow. It is the pall of death. You know what a pall is? A pall is a somber cloth that's thrown over a coffin or thrown over a corpse. The pall of death. That veil of the modest woman, the veil of sorrow, the pall of death. This is none of me. Tear down that lying specter of the centuries. Veil not your vices with virtuous words. These vices are my service. Ye do well, and I will reward you here and hereafter. Now, obviously, that freaked Crowley out, okay? Because instantly the Praetor natural intelligence that was dictating this read Crowley's mind and responded, fear not, O prophet, when these words are said, thou shalt not be sorry. Thou art emphatically my chosen, and blessed are the eyes that thou shalt look upon with gladness. But I will hide thee in a mask of sorrow. They that see thee shall fear thou art fallen. And if you know what Crowley's life was like after 1904, you know, that everybody totally was starting to misunderstand Crowley and say, "Oh my God, he's fallen. He's not a holy man anymore. He's fallen into evil." You know. But I will lift thee up. Okay. The idea that these vices are of my service. And Constance, in her own little precious saintly way, blesses everyone, blesses the spiders, blesses the neighbors, blesses the monsters on the news. May your virtues and your vices equally serve your true will. Now, as when I was, I don't know, about 11 or 12, I started playing the guitar, and I was very into the music of the day, which was the birth of rock and roll period of time. And by the time I was 14, I had joined an existing working band. Okay. I had the shittiest guitar in Columbus, Nebraska, but I could play it, and I knew the lyrics of every popular song on the top 40. And so I've been a musician since I was 14. I had no ambition in life other than to be a musician. The only thing that got me through high school, I didn't study in high school at all, excuse me. There was only a couple things I was interested in, and I took language and things like that, but I didn't pass any tests, and I didn't need to because the choir director bullied all the other teachers into giving me a C plus average, whether I took a book home or not, because I was in the school musicals and stuff like that. I was doing what I loved. But the point I'm trying to make is I've been a musician, or I was a musician since I was 14 years old, professional musician. And so I know vices when I see it. Okay. I smoked. I drank. Okay. I didn't drink that much in high school. Okay. But I tell you, when I came out to LA, as soon as I graduated from high school, fell in, started writing songs, got the record contract and everything else. I drank. I know my vices. And I know all of the collateral vices that go with vices. Okay. And for a while, the lifestyle of my vices was actually the driving force of my creative growth. And I won't deny it. Charlie and I wrote our best, most spiritual songs when we were bombed out of our mind. So I know my vices. Okay. Now, because don't worry, I'm building up to something here. I accidentally, soon after I joined the OTO, okay, I came to the conclusion that if I was going to continue with my occult studies, not only was I going to have to be level-headed, but I was going to have to do something normal to put a roof over our heads. Now, being a musician for so long, I quit when our son was born, about 1972, just because the vices were getting too bad for my health. Okay, not to mention the health of my marriage. And so I was pretty much temperate from then on, but I knew I had to get a real job doing something, and so I got several jobs, and eventually, with the help of other magical friends and such, I got myself a position as eventually as a little office manager for a stockbroker. And so I managed the office, and my boss, just a one-man shop, he was out most of the time selling and talking to clients and things. And so I had that job. It was paying the rent. It was keeping a roof over our heads. It was allowing me to uh, uh, establish and start to cultivate a lodge of OTO in our home. Uh, and but it was so boring. Now I created most of the tarot of ceremonial magic at that office where I had the run of all the office machinery. Okay, but uh, okay, I better cut to the chase here. I'm sorry. Uh, it was dull stuff, and that was way down in South Orange County, and I had the opportunity to drive home each day down Laguna Canyon Road to Laguna Beach, California, one of the most beautiful coastal vistas on the planet, and then take the coast highway home. And as I came out of Laguna Canyon Road down toward the beach itself in the Highway 1, the Pacific Coast Highway, I could see every night at sunset, near sunset, Catalina Island, 26 miles. Just you could almost reach out and touch Catalina. Sometimes if it was late, and depending on the time of year, the sun was going down over Catalina Island. It was gorgeous. It was beautiful. I was the luckiest man in the world to come home from well, I got into the habit of, before I took that winding road down Laguna Canyon Road, I had the habit of stopping off at a liquor store and picking up one of those little canned martinis. I like the gin. Okay. They're poison. They're not only a vice, but they're poison. But they had, for me, a measured, as if it was minutely scientifically measured, a measured high. And I would slug it back, and this high would come on. And it was just a little canned martini, so I couldn't have 9 or 10 of them, or anything. And I was driving, and that poison little short club martini can sent me to paradise. And it looked like paradise. The palm trees, the Catalina, the ocean, the smell of the salt sea. And by the time I got home, I was blissfully relaxed, high, and starving to death. Okay. Now, that was such a beautiful use of my vice that I dusted off my old musicianhoodness, and I wanted to celebrate it in song. So not only as I was getting high going down the Laguna Canyon Road, I was making up this song and I was singing it. Now, I hadn't sung in 10 years by then, okay, at least 10 years. I didn't even have a guitar at the moment, okay, but I sang that song and I worked my voice so I could get the pitch in my ear going again, and I made up this song. As luck would have it, one of the Monday night class members said, "You don't even have a guitar. You're a musician. I'm going to buy you a guitar." So he bought me a beautiful little acoustic guitar, and I started to play the guitar again. And I worked out that song on the guitar. That the Vice song started to go into the guitar, okay? And I started to retrain my muscle, my muscle memory and everything else. And I wrote that song, okay, and I could play it. And it's a stupid, stupid song. Constance hates it, okay, because it is so true. But that stupid song, and don't worry, or worry, because I'm going to play it for you. That's, I got up the nerve again to go to an open mic in Costa Mesa. And everybody there was young people, and I was already in my 50s, I think. And I was old and fat and okay. And when I got up, everybody tittered and laughed and everything else, you know. But I'm so old and so I don't care, you know. Uh, the nervousness disappeared, you know, 30 years ago. So okay. And I played the first couple chords of the song, and I started to sing, and everyone was trying to hold their laughter in because they were all set to ridicule me. And then I opened up with the first verse, and the place went absolutely silent. And then after that, every other word, they broke into laughter. They hung on every word. And by the time that magic song, that magic Vice song was over, I was accepted into the world of that actually I wanted to get into. I showed up at that open mic 2 other times, and a reporter from the Santa Ana Register, one of the greatest newspapers in the country, saw it, wrote an article on me, like a 3-page article in the Orange County Register with pictures and everything else. Well, they kicked off a 10-year recording career because also my dear friend, personal friend now, Alan Corcoran, he said, "I don't know anything about the music business, but nobody else does either, so I'll produce you." And that kicked off a very creative period of time. And as I'm doing that, it sort of colored, it injected a new kind of creative energy even into my writing. Okay. That Vice, that canned martini served me well. Now, all through my life, I've kind of joked that I always have a bunch of friends that I call friends in low places. Well, I don't mean to be derogatory about them, but they're friends with more vices than I. Okay, but we work off of each other. Charlie and I, my songwriting partner, had a terrible drinking problem, and then eventually a terrible what I figured was a terrible cocaine uh, addiction. But he wrote the most fabulous songs in the world right for the rest of his life. He called himself Charlie Packard. Okay. Brilliant, brilliant musician, brilliant songwriter, and a freaking saint, a spiritual saint. Okay. I'm proud to know both of his sons. Actually, all three of his sons, we still keep in contact. Charlie's VICES worked for him. They were a service unto him. And he did not hide his vices in virtuous words. And his art was joy and not the pall of sorrow. And I'd like to think my work is too. So I'm going to play, you know what song I'm going to play probably. And I'm going to close today's talk with that. But just remember, this is Constance's quote. May your virtues and your vices equally serve your true will. So, okay. Now, at the time I wrote this, I don't even think I had a guitar. I'd given up my many guitars, but now I've got, okay, because my shoulder kind of is getting old, and my old Larrivee has a longer neck. This is a Taylor 322E 12 fret, not 12 string, 12 fret. That's because the neck is pushed forward here so that the neck meets the body at the 12th fret instead of the 14th, which most, oh, you don't care about that. They say that drinking and driving is a terrible curse. That's how it started out, and everybody's going, They say that drinking and driving's a terrible curse. As felonies go, it's one of the worst. They say that drinking and driving brings misery and pain. But a guy needs a hobby to keep from going insane. I love to get drunk in the car. I love to get drunk in the car. Every night around 6, I slug down that sweet whiskey. I love to get drunk in the car. It's a good thing I don't live too far from my job, 'cause I drink in the car. Down the back streets I slink, and I sing as I drink. I love to get drunk in the car. No, I don't like to drink in a bar. The urinals stink in a bar. I would much rather cruise in the fresh air and booze. I don't like to drink in a bar. I love to get drunk in the car. I love to get drunk in the car. Every night around 6, I slug down that sweet whiskey. I love to get drunk in the car. Oh, here's another vice that went along with that. Sometimes I light up a cigar. Oh, and Constance hated that. And I smoke while I drink in the car. I can spit in the street. Jesus, isn't life sweet? I love to get drunk in the car. I love to get drunk in the car. I love to get drunk in the car. Every night around 6, I slug down that sweet whiskey. I love to get drunk in the car. There's a moral to this. Each night as I drink in the car, I look up and wish on a star, and give thanks to the gods. I keep beating the odds, 'cause I love to get drunk in the car. May your virtues and your vices equally serve your true will. See you tomorrow for Sunday school. Until then, continue to be good to yourself and be good to each other. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law. Love under will.